Saturday, May 21st, 2011. Nearly 2 hours later, I come to bed. It's just after 1:45. She's fast asleep and hasn't moved from where I left her. I strip, pull on my PJ pants and a t-shirt, and climb in beside her. She's comatose. It's unlikely she's going to start to thrash around and touch me. I hesitate for a moment as the darkness swells within me, and it doesn't surface. And I know it's because I'm watching the hypnotic rise and fall of her chest, and I'm breathing in sync with her. In, out, in, out, in, out, for seconds, minutes, hours. I don't know. I watch her. And while she sleeps, I survey every beautiful inch of her lovely face. Her dark lashes fluttering while she sleeps. Her lips slightly parted so I glimpse even her even white teeth. She mutters something unintelligible, and her tongue darts out and licks her lips. It's arousing. Very arousing. Finally, I fall into a deep and dreamless slumber. It's quiet when I open my eyes, and I'm momentarily disoriented. Ah, yes. I'm at the Heathman. The clock at my bedside says 7:43. When was the last time I slept this late? Anna. Slowly I turn my head, and she's fast asleep facing me. Her beautiful face soft in repose. I've never slept with a woman. I've fucked many. But to wake up beside an alluring young woman is a new and stimulating experience. My cock agrees. This will not do. Reluctantly, I climb out of bed and change into my running gear. I need to burn off this excess energy. As I change into my sweats, I can't remember the last time I've slept so well. In the living room, I fire up my laptop, check my email, and respond to 2 from Roz and 1 from Andrea. It takes me a little longer than usual, as I'm distracted knowing that Anna is asleep in the next room. I wonder how she'll feel when she wakes. Hungover. In the minibar, I find a bottle of orange juice and empty it into a glass. She's still asleep when I enter, her hair a ride of mahogany spread across her pillow, and the covers have slipped below her waist. Her t-shirt is written up, exposing her belly and navel. The sight stirs my body once more. Stop standing here ogling the girl, for fuck's sakes, Gray. I have to get out of here before I do something I'll regret. Placing the glass on the bedside table, I duck into the bathroom, find 2 Advil in my travel kit, and deposit them beside the glass of orange juice. With one lasting, lingering look at Anastasia Steele, the first woman I've ever slept with, I head out for my run. When I return from my exercise, there's a bag in the living room from a store I don't recognize. I take a peek and see it contains clothes for Anna. From what I can see, Taylor has done well, and all before 9 o'clock. The man is a marvel. Her purse is on the sofa where I dropped it last night, and the door to the bedroom is closed, so I assume she's not left and that she's still asleep. It's a relief. Poring over the room service menu, I decide to order some food. She'll be hungry when she wakes, but I have no idea what she'll eat. So in a rare moment of indulgence, I order a selection from the breakfast menu. I'm informed it will take half an hour. Time to wake the delectable Miss Steele. She slept enough. Grabbing my workout towel and the shopping bag, I knock on the door and enter. To my delight, she's sitting up in bed. The tablets are gone, and so is the juice. Good girl. She pales as I saunter into the room. Keep it casual, Gray. You don't want to be charged with kidnapping. She closes her eyes, and I assume it's because she's embarrassed. Good morning, Anastasia. How are you feeling? Better than I deserve, she mutters, as I place the bag on the chair. When she turns her gaze to me, her eyes are impossibly big and blue, and though her hair is a tangled mess, she looks stunning. How did I get here? She asks, as though she's afraid of the answer. Reassure her, Gray. I sit down on the edge of the bed and stick to the facts. After you passed out, I didn't want to risk the leather upholstery of my car taking you all the way to your apartment, so I brought you here. Did you put me to bed? Yes. Did I throw up again? No. Thank God. Did you undress me? Yes. Who else would have undressed you? She blushes, and at last she has some color in her cheeks. Perfect teeth bite down on her lip. I suppress a groan. We didn't, she whispers, staring at her hands. Christ, what kind of animal does she think I am? Anastasia, you were comatose. Necrophilia is not my thing. My tone is dry. I like my women sentient and receptive. She sags with relief, which makes me wonder if this has happened to her before, that she's passed out and woken up in a stranger's bed and found out he's fucked her without her consent. Maybe that's the photographer's modus operandi. The thought is disturbing. But I recall her confession last night that she'd never been drunk before. Thank God she hasn't made a habit of this. I'm so sorry, she says, her voice full of shame. Hell, maybe I should go easy on her. It was a very diverting evening. Not one that I'll forget in a while. I hope that sounds conciliatory, but her brow creases. You didn't have to track me down with whatever James Bond gadgetry you're developing for the highest bidder. Whoa. Now she's pissed? Why? First, the technology to track cell phones is available over the internet. Well, the deep net. Second, my company does not invest or manufacture any kind of surveillance devices. My temper is fraying, but I'm on a roll. And third, if I hadn't come to get you, you'd probably be waking up in the photographer's bed, and from what I can remember, you weren't overly enthused about him pressing his suit. She blinks a couple of times, then starts giggling. She's laughing at me. Again. Which medieval chronicle did you escape from? You sound like a courtly knight. She's beguiling. She's calling me out. Again. And her irreverence is refreshing. Really refreshing. However, I'm under no illusion that I'm a knight in shining armor. Boy, has she got the wrong idea. And though it may not be to my advantage, I'm compelled to warn her that there's nothing chivalrous or courtly about me. Anastasia? I don't think so. Dark Knight. Maybe. If only she knew and why we are discussing me. I change the subject. Did you eat last night? She shakes her head. I knew it. You need to eat. That's why you were so ill. Honestly, it's drinking rule number 1. Are you going to continue to scold me? Is that what I'm doing? I think so. You're lucky I'm just scolding you. What do you mean? Well, if you were mine, you wouldn't be able to sit down for a week after the stunt you pulled yesterday. You didn't eat. You got drunk. You put yourself at risk. The fear in my gut surprises me. Such irresponsible risk-taking behavior. I hate to think what could have happened to you. She scowls. I would have been fine. I was with Kate. Some help she was. And the photographer? I retort. Jose just got out of line, she says, dismissing my concern and tossing her tangled hair over her shoulder. Well, the next time he gets out of line, maybe someone should teach him some manners. You're quite the disciplinarian, she snaps. Oh, Anastasia, you have no idea. An image of her shackled to my bench, peeled ginger root inserted in her ass so she can't clench her buttocks comes to mind, followed by judicious use of a belt or strap. Yeah, that would teach her not to be so irresponsible. The thought is hugely appealing. She's staring at me wide-eyed and dazed, and it makes me uncomfortable. Can she read my mind? Or is she just looking at a pretty face? I'm going to have a shower. Unless you'd like to shower first, I tell her, but she continues to gape. Even with her mouth open, she's quite lovely. She's hard to resist, and I grant myself permission to touch her, tracing the line of her cheek with my thumb. Her breath catches in her throat as I stroke her bottom soft lip. Breathe, Anastasia, I murmur, before I stand and inform her that breakfast will be in 15 minutes. She says nothing, her smart mouth silent for once. In the bathroom, I take a deep breath, strip, and climb into the shower. I'm half tempted to jerk off, but the familiar fear of discovery and disclosure from an earlier time in my life stops me. Elena would not be pleased. Old habits. As the water cascades over my head, I reflect on my latest interaction with the challenging Miss Steele. She's still here, in my bed, so she cannot find me completely repulsive. I notice the way her breath caught in her throat and how her gaze followed me around the room. Yeah, there's hope. But would she make a good submissive? It's obvious she knows nothing of the lifestyle. She couldn't even say fuck or sex or whatever bookish college students use as a euphemism for fucking these days. She's quite the innocent. She's probably been subjected to a few fumbling encounters with boys like the photographer. The thought of her fumbling with anyone irks me. I could just ask her if she's interested. No, I'd have to show her what she'd be taking on if she agreed to a relationship with me. Let's see how we both fare over breakfast. Rinsing off the soap, I stand beneath the hot stream and gather my wits for round 2 with Anastasia Steele. I switch off the water and, stepping out of the shower, grab a towel. A quick check-in in the steamed-up mirror, and I decide to skip shaving today. Breakfast will be here shortly, and I'm hungry. Quickly, I brush my teeth. When I open the bathroom door, she's out of the bed and searching for her jeans. She looks up in the archetypal startled fawn, all long legs and big eyes. If you're looking for your jeans, I've sent them to the laundry. She really has great legs. She shouldn't hide them in pants. Her eyes narrow, and I think she's going to argue with me, so I tell her why. They were spattered with your vomit. Oh, she says. Yes. Oh. Now what do we have to say to that, Miss Steele? I sent Taylor out for another pair and some shoes. They're in the bag on the chair. I nod at the shopping bag. She raises her eyebrows in surprise, I think. I'll have a shower, she mutters, and then, as an afterthought, she adds, Thanks. Grabbing the bag, she dodges around me, darts into the bathroom, and locks the door. She couldn't get into the bathroom quick enough. Away from me. Perhaps I'm being too optimistic. Disheartened, I briskly dry off and get dressed. In the living room, I check my email, but there's nothing urgent. I'm interrupted by a knock on the door. 2 women have arrived from room service. Where would you like breakfast, sir? Set it up on the dining table. Walking back into the bedroom, I catch their furtive looks, but I ignore them and suppress the guilt I feel over how much food I've ordered. We'll never eat it all. Breakfast is here, I call and rap on the bathroom door. Oh, okay. Anna's voice sounds a little muted. Back in the living room, our breakfast is on the table. One of the women, who has dark eyes, hands me the check to sign, and from my wallet I pull a couple of 20s for them. Thank you, ladies. Just call room service when you want the table cleared, sir, Miss Dark Eyes says with a coquettish look, as if she's offering more. My chilly smile warns her off. Sitting down at the table with the newspaper, I pour myself a coffee and make a start on my omelet. My phone buzzes a text from Elliot. Kate wants to know if Anna is still alive. I chuckle, somewhat mollified that Anna's so-called friend is thinking about her. It's obvious that Elliot hasn't given his dick a rest after all the prostrations yesterday. I text back. Alive and kicking, winky face. Anna appears a few moments later, hair wet in the pretty blue blouse that matches her eyes. Taylor has done well. She looks lovely. Scanning the room, she spots her purse. Crap, Kate, she blurts. She knows you're here, and still alive. I texted Elliot. She gives me an uncertain smile as she walks towards the table. Sit, I say, pointing to the place that's been set for her. She frowns at the amount of food on the table, which only accentuates my guilt. I didn't know what you liked, so I ordered a selection from the breakfast menu, I mutter, by way of an apology. That's very profligate of you, she says. Yes, it is. My guilt blooms. But as she opts for the pancakes, scrambled eggs, and bacon with maple syrup and tucks in, I forgive myself. It's good to see her eat. Tea? I ask. Yes, please, she says between mouthfuls. She's obviously famished. I pass her the small teapot of water. She gives me a sweet smile when she notices the Twinings English breakfast tea. I have to catch my breath at her expression. It makes me uneasy. It gives me hope. Your hair's very damp, I observe. I couldn't find the hairdryer, she says, embarrassed. She'll get sick. Thank you for the clothes, she adds. It's a pleasure, Anastasia. That color suits you. She stares down at her fingers. You know, you really should learn to take a compliment. Perhaps she doesn't get many. But why? She's gorgeous. In an understated way. I should give you money for these clothes. What? I glare at her, and she continues quickly. You've already given me the books, which of course I can't accept, but these, please let me pay you back. Sweetheart. Anastasia, trust me. I can afford it. That's not the point. Why should you buy these for me? Because I can. I'm a very rich man, Anna. Just because you can doesn't mean that you should. Her voice is soft, but suddenly I'm wondering if she's looked through me and seen my darkest desires. Why did you send me the books, Christian? Because I wanted to see you again. And here you are. Well, when you were nearly run over by the cyclist and I was holding you and you were looking up at me and saying with your eyes, kiss me, Christian. I stop, recalling the moment, her body pressed against mine. Shit. I quickly shrug off the memory. I felt I owed you an apology and a warning. Anastasia, I'm not a hearts and flowers kind of man. I don't do romance. My tastes are very singular. You should steer clear of me. There's something about you, though, and I'm finding it impossible to stay away. But I think you've figured that out already. Then don't, she whispers. What? You don't know what you're saying. Enlighten me, then. Her words travel straight to my cock. Fuck. You're not celibate? She asks. No, Anastasia, I'm not celibate. And if you let me tie you up, I'd prove it to you right now. Her eyes widen and her cheeks pink. Oh, Anna. I have to show her. It's the only way I'll know. What are your plans for the next few days, I ask. I'm working today from midday. What time is it? She exclaims in panic. It's just after 10. You've got plenty of time. What about tomorrow? Kate and I are going to start packing. We're moving to Seattle next weekend, and I'm working at Clayton's all week. You have a place in Seattle already? Yes. Where? I can't remember the address. It's in the Pike Market District. Not far from me. Good. So what are you going to do for work in Seattle? I've applied for some internships. I'm waiting to hear. Have you applied to my company, as I suggested? No. And what's wrong with my company? Your company or your company? She arches an eyebrow. Are you smirking at me, Miss Steele? I can't hide my amusement. Oh, she'd be a joy to train. Challenging, maddening woman. She examines her plate, chewing at her lip. I'd like to bite that lip, I whisper, because it's true. Her face flies to mine, and she shuffles in her seat. She tilts her chin towards me, her eyes full of confidence. Why don't you? She says quietly.